And welcome to our show, Geeks Wired Podcast, where we talk about video games, movies, TV, comic books, technology, and Tilder, the interweb of all the internet things. And I'm your host, Bill, and the other host is Anthony.
Hello, Bill and listeners.
Hi, listeners. Hi, Anthony. Welcome. Welcome one. Welcome all. And you also can talk to us. You can message us by emailing us at geekswired@gmail.com or leave us a voicemail or a text message at 801-896-4335. You also can help support us at patreon.com/geekswired, where you get access to the podcast early. And we're going to start out with video games.
So, what is this Elder Scrolls about?
It's a massive online multiplayer role-playing game.
The Elder Scrolls Online?
Yes.
Mm.
The E of the S of the O's.
So why is it on the list today?
Because they, after 7 years, I think is what they were saying, decided to, or Tuesday, they had a big old release and talking about, but Tuesday they talked about that after 7 years, they have decided to, maybe 8 years actually, but either way, they have finally decided to upgrade their hardware, their servers.
Okay.
And they're doing lots of changes.
I thought you were going to tell me they were going to shut down the thing in favor of a new Elder Scrolls game.
No. They're still adding to. Actually, that's all the other stuff. Is they're also coming out with Blackwood. That's coming out later. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Which is an expansion pack, right?
Yes. So, and that's the thing about Elder Scrolls is you can either buy them individually, which there's all the sales going on right now, and especially if you buy them, you get a non-combat pet, somebody that just follows you around, which is it's a nightmare cub bear. Sucker's adorable with flame coming out of its eyes. I can't find it right now. And then you also get a new mount to ride right now. And then when the game comes out in June, I think is what it was, then you also get the new, all the other fun stuff. Another mount, and it's fun. But they were saying that, oh yeah, we are going to upgrade our servers. Oh, it is June. Yeah, June 20.
You mean they haven't upgraded them since?
No, they haven't. That's what they were saying. They're like, well, I was like, wow, that's kind of impressive.
I mean, it also kind of shows for either they way over allocated, which I'm guessing is the case. They probably thought it was going to be like the next big thing. And now they're only just barely pushing the limits.
Yeah, it's possible. And they also they did some major changes. So if you haven't played in a while, or if you weren't expecting this, when you log in after the upgrade, you have to reallocate your points because they did a major change. So your points have been your character star points have been brought back down to zero, or they've been given back to you. You have to parse them back out.
It's basically like the WoW talent tree.
Yeah.
I'm sure yours is way, like, Elder Scrolls is probably more in-depth and more complicated because with WoW, you get, like, a skill every 5 to 10 levels. Like a talent you can pick. Like, there's a row where you have 3 different ones that you can pick.
Yeah.
And you can only pick one per row, and you get so many per level, whatever. But, yeah, it's, I'm guessing yours is a lot more in-depth.
So...
like it's an actual legit skill tree?
Yes and no. I felt like there was 12 main areas, but they were broken into 3 subsections. 12? Maybe there's only 9. I feel like there was 3 per section, and there's 3 sections. But now they only have 3 sections, period. But from one of those so far, and it's set to expand, one of those you're able to get they're constellations. So you're able to get sub-constellations off of this with the intent that this is going to be upgradable. So like I said, they announced it Tuesday. And they were like, this is going to be cool. So with an announcement of Tuesday going, we're going to be doing an upgrade, One, how long do you think the upgrade's going to take from the moment they announce it, and when do you think they're going to be done with the upgrade?
So they're doing the upgrade right now?
Well, when do you think they're going to start it?
Oh, I don't know.
When do you think they're going to... How long do you think it's going to take them?
When does the DLC come out?
June.
I really have no idea.
Okay.
I would say a week.
All right. It's going to take them... I think it took them like 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours, and it happened, and they did the upgrade Wednesday.
Okay, so they already had the hardware.
Yeah, they had everything. They were just switching it all over, and they QA'd it, and they did all this stuff to make it all pretty and...
Oh, was this the bear thing you were talking about?
No, it's not the bear thing. That's the new bad guy.
The receive a free pet? I'm talking over here.
Oh, yeah. That is the cool... The little nightmare cub bear.
So that probably counts as an ad, and that's probably why you're not seeing it.
Oh, no, I see it. I found it.
Well,
Yours might... Oh, I see.
Mine showed up right when I got on the home screen. Either that or you clicked out of it and it saved that.
It could have.
Let me try that and refresh.
Actually, I don't remember. Well, of course, I've been to this page a lot since a couple times since the
No,
announcement.
you clicked out of it and it just saved that you clicked it. So
yeah. So you get a nightmare bear cub and a Nagahide Wellawar Ravager as a mount.
So you can't fly in this game, can you?
No, you cannot fly. Well, no. Let me double check.
That's a real downer.
No. I know, it'd be kind of fun. But you can do lots of stuff. Like, you can easily fast travel. You can...
Well, I mean, you can fast travel in WoW too, but I don't know. Like, when you say fast travel, how many fast travel points do you have? Available to a given character.
All right. So if you are in a random place, you can fast travel to obviously the portal places. Is it the same thing with WoW? You only can travel to the places.
So the way it is with WoW, there is portals. Like there's a main portal room in the faction city that you have, and which means so there's two factions in WoW. There's Alliance and Horde, and so each of them have a faction city, like the main city.
Yeah.
And those have a portal room. It used to be before that the portal rooms were in the main expansion hub for each expansion, but they've changed that sense to where there's just one portal room now, and and then now there's just a port like in those portal rooms from before those expansions. They just have a portal to that portal room, which just is a portal to the main faction city. But on top of that, you also have Hearthstones. Certain classes have certain abilities that basically are a Hearthstone, and the Hearthstone just means that, like, you go to an inn, like an innkeeper, and you say that this is my home now, and you can just activate the Hearthstone anywhere you are to go there. And then it has like a 15-minute cooldown. It's 30 if you're not in a guild, but everybody's in a guild, so... Yeah, that's how that works. There's also mage portals too, but you have to be a mage class to have access to them.
Yes, it's way more complicated.
And warlocks.
Than ESO.
I don't know. That seems more believable. Let's hear what ESO's is.
Okay, so they have... Why can't I remember the name of it? But okay, we'll just call them portals. You just walk or waypoints. Yeah, waypoints. That's what they're called. You walk up to waypoints. Waypoints are scattered throughout the entire world at various points and all this. If you have never been to a waypoint, then you have to physically walk up to this waypoint first, and that activates it for you to travel to it. Once you have traveled to it, you can the first amount of gold, or I think I'm at 147 pieces of gold to fast travel at any point anywhere to a waypoint that I have been to.
For a while, there's also, like, if you don't have flying, or even if you do have flying, there's flight paths, which will take you from, like, you go to a Griffin master person, or whatever they have at that point, but you go to them, and then you tell them, hey, I want to fly to one of these other places that I've been to before.
Yeah.
as long as it's on the same continent or the same main big area, and you can go to it. There's also ships that will take you from one continent to another, and there's portals and zeppelins and lots of other stuff. But
So there are travelers around this who I can actually go to like boats and all that, and I can travel. It's kind of like the waypoints. There's also there's a couple of cities that you can only get through. There's a legit portal in the Mages Guild that sends you off to a city. But besides that, waypoints will get you to and from pretty much anywhere for free. I walk up to a waypoint. I go, I want to go to another waypoint. It goes, done. You are randomly somewhere and you want to travel to a waypoint and you don't want to waste your time wandering over to the waypoint. You can pay the 140 some odd gold, and then the next if you travel, and then it has a cooldown. If I want to jump to a different waypoint in like, I wandered away from this waypoint and I was like, I don't care about wandering back. Now it's 700 gold, and it will go up. It will start costing a pretty penny. Or you can let it cool down, or you can just wander over to a waypoint, or this is the best way to do it. Especially if you're like in a kind of a rush get, you join a guild or a bunch of friends, have a bunch of friends on. Especially when there's events going on, you have a low level character that just needs to like grind through the fun event going on.
Yeah.
And you fast travel to a guild member or a friend that is in the area. If you make negotiations, you can go, hey, could you or is anybody here? And they could fast travel and you could just jump to that spot, which means now you instantly know that waypoint because you have traveled to that waypoint. And that waypoint is now available to you. If you just jump to somebody who's in a certain map, you are guessing which waypoint they're on. And maps are, the maps or the area maps, they're not huge. So if they're like on the other side of the area, yeah, you just travel across the area to run to where the event's going on, which most of the time people are at the events because there's events going on and people want to do the events. So you have a decent chance, and that's free. So I can travel to guild members for free or friends for free.
Interesting.
So there's plenty of free ways to travel around the world. Plenty.
There's free ways in WoW, like all those portals are free.
Yeah.
And anytime you use your Hearthstone, it's free, and certain flight paths are free, but not like most of them aren't. It's just like if it's a major one that goes to another major one, then it's free. Or especially if it's in a beginner area and you're literally like, there's a flight path in Stormwind, and then there's a flight path that goes like if you were to walk, it's probably like a 2 to 3 minute walk, and that one's free. But it's one that people would use enough to where they just made it free so that it doesn't break the bank for newbies, because like they changed the system up in WoW to where instead to do the content, like you level up in a certain zone now instead of like being expected to go from one zone to another, because since they've changed the leveling system so much over the years, you basically get like a quarter of the way or halfway through a quest line, and then you're over leveled for that area, and so you can finish the quest, but you're gonna get hardly no experience.
Yeah.
And so they've changed it to where they call it time walking, to where you set that you're in this one expansion, and then it just like you can do quests and stuff from that area, or that's the dungeons that you go to when you go to a dungeon, and all that other stuff. But that's the backstory to this. When I started a new character a little while ago, I logged in, and then me and my friend went to this Northrend, I think.
Yeah.
It's up in the north part of the map, but we were able to take a portal to get up there, or a zeppelin, I don't remember, but the flight path to go anywhere is 2 gold. And when you first start out, I think you get like a couple of tens of gold, and that's it. Yeah. And I didn't notice it the first couple of times I did it. So it basically broke the bank. You were
instantly broke.
Yeah. So does Elder Scrolls have, is it just gold, or do they also have copper and silver?
Gold. That's it.
Oh, okay. WoW has copper and silver. So when you were saying 140 gold, I was like, I mean, that's still pocket change for end level, but Because once you get to end level, you don't care about silver. Well, actually, once you get a couple levels, you don't care about silver and copper, really.
Yeah.
It's just irrelevant, and I'm actually surprised they still have it. Because gold is all you care about.
And yeah, that's all it is. Everything is gold in this. If you're part of a guild, you sell to you have a merchant's guild or anything like that. They just buy somebody and you can buy stuff. So there's merchants all around the maps. But with Elder Scrolls, there's the giant map. There's a couple of islands, but each of these main areas are map expansions, are main events.
Mm-hmm.
And then inside those are all of these.
So, question.
Yes.
Is Blackwood like a whole new area? Like there hasn't even been a game that's been on it?
Blackwood is...
So like Skyrim's zone is in this game.
Yes.
And so is Morrowind and all the other ones, but has Blackwood had a previous game in it?
Blackwood, I don't think is an area. I think it's just an event because they're talking about Oblivion in here.
Oh, okay.
Because they were talking a lot about the Oblivion Gate. Also, with one of the expansions, or the expansion coming out, is you get a companion. They can fight with you, which is really nice for people like me that like to solo play. So this isn't just like with all the other games, like, hey, I don't want to carry this stuff. You carry my stuff. You carry my burden. I just get to wander around and tell you to pick everything up.
Is there can you be overburdened in this game?
Yes.
Oh.
And there's
That's
ways
not
to...
a thing in WoW.
There's ways to get around it. You invest in your horse riding skills so you can carry more as long as you're on the horse. And because there's actually you will suddenly not be able to run.
I wonder if WoW Classic was even like that.
Ooh, I don't know if you can. I'm not sure if I'm mixing up Fallout with this. I'm not sure. I haven't tried to. I've upped my bag quite a bit, and I usually just dump a lot of stuff as much as I can. But I know, like Fallout, if you will suddenly stop being able to run, and then you will stop being able to move. Like,
yeah,
you are overburdened. I could see Elder Scrolls doing the same thing. I feel like there was stuff with like Skyrim or Oblivion or any of the others, or Morrowind.
Because
I don't remember.
In WoW, World of Warcraft, you start off with a basic bag. I think it's like 16 slots. It might be 14. And you can get up to like 4 bags. And they have bag slots at like I think my bags are 30 slot bags, and then I have one that's a 32 or 34. And like I said, you can have 4 you can have 4 bags. The beginner one you can't replace, so you have 3 slots. It's either 3 or 4, I don't remember. And you can just fill them up to your delight, and it doesn't impact you at all. But this isn't like the system that Oblivion has for an MMO isn't like unheard of. RuneScape's the same way.
Or you mean like Elder Scrolls?
Well, I just mean for an MMO.
Oh yeah,
it's not unheard of because RuneScape's the same way. In fact, RuneScape, you can't you can fill yourself up really really full. You could still run, but it like takes all your energy way faster. Like the heavier you are, the more energy it takes to run. And like you have a stamina meter, and once it hits 0, you just start walking again.
Yep, they have that in Elder Scrolls. All right, so Blackwood, it's not just an event, it is a city. It was first brought in or shown in Oblivion.
Oblivion.
So that's why I was thinking with Oblivion. And
so, okay, the reason why I was asking is because people have been wondering if they're ever going to come out with another game, like standalone game, or if they're just going to keep remaking Skyrim.
No, they've, let's see, what is the next one? I forget if they're coming out with their Star or their Space one first, or the next or Elder Scrolls game. I feel like they were actually talking about releasing their next, but actually this is also changed now that Microsoft owns them.
Oh, that's right.
But I believe that Bethesda was going to release another Elder Scrolls game and then their space one. And I feel like there was some rumors of another Fallout. but I don't remember what it was. But that's been also announced for
What, the space or the...
the space and the new one, and the new Elder Scrolls. Those announced, I think, 2018 or 2019 at like, I want to say CES. But yeah,
anyways, I was poking fun at it.
I know.
Because when did Skyrim come out?
Before ESO did.
Well, yeah, I knew that, but
I'm pretty right.
Skyrim came out on
Sure.
the 360 and the PS3. I'm pretty sure. Scrim. 2011, November 11th.
Oh yeah, and ESO, 2014. So they haven't upgraded their servers since 2014. It's actually been 9 years. No, 7 years. It's been 7 years. And ESO is 2011 initial release. Or not ESO, I mean Skyrim's 2011 initially.
At the very end of it. And they haven't released...
They've released games.
I know they've released games, but they haven't done, like... Besides the MMO, they haven't really done any Elder Scrolls games.
They have done the post-apocalyptic skin.
What's that?
Fallout.
Okay. That's not Elder Scrolls. I know you said it's a skin, but that doesn't matter. It's not Elder Scrolls.
I don't know. It's actually... I feel after playing Fallout 76, I was like, this is a different game from Elder Scrolls. This is... I feel on edge way more in Fallout 76
Oh, yeah.
than I do in Elder Scrolls. And I'm sure I'd feel less on edge if I would play Fallout 76 way more. But the fact that I had so many issues with it initially. They've released a Doom game. They've released... There's a couple others that they have come out with.
Yeah, it's not like they've been like sitting on their hands, but still. They've had enough time to re-release Skyrim like 20 times.
The special edition?
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, they even have one for the Maname.
Yeah. Oh, they released a Wolfenstein since then too. And they've had they've been doing a couple of expansions. Actually, that's the thing they were talking about with 2020 is that they were actually looking to hire people because some people ended up leaving. They had to do the work from home thing. They didn't change what they were expecting to release in 2020 and their time schedule. Like they kept on it. So the fact that this actually came out was like pretty awesome for them.
Well, the fact that they didn't change it is either really good or really bad.
They were saying it was I think it was the letter from the CEO, and he was like, it was stressful, and because of this, we are cutting back what we initially were expecting to release in 2021. We are not releasing at the same massive cadence that we were. Like it was painful. Apparently for them because they ended up like losing people or they had lost people.
Did they lose people due to burnout?
I think there was just the work from home thing and the pandemic.
What do you mean?
Passed away. Passed away. The sad thing. Things happened. Events happened. But and I'm sure there may have been some burnout. He didn't really get into that. But
well, the fact that they're actually wanting to step back, though, they probably should have done that earlier.
Yes. But that's something that always kind of gets people sometimes. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to keep going. And no, maybe we shouldn't. Oh, they did release Elder Scrolls Legends.
What is this?
That is the little... mobile version of Elder Scrolls.
Is it a card game?
No, it's actually... Oh, maybe this one is... Oh, yeah, Legends was the card game. Sorry.
So it's Hearthstone, okay.
Yeah, okay, Legends is the card game. And then they released... what was the mobile one? There was another Fallout...
Fallout
Knights?
Shelter?
Not Fallout, I mean, sorry. Elder Scrolls... If I could type... I want to say Knights...
Oh yeah, I remember.
Night. No, is it night? Is it really night? Why do I feel like this is wrong? Knight's Order. Night Order? Is that really it? It might be. But yeah, there was this mobile.
You didn't click.
No, I thought I clicked.
You
I
did
just
click. It just didn't.
didn't
go.
count. All that. But that is just an ad for something else.
A big ad.
I don't remember what it was, but it was something. Let's see.
Yeah, you tried it out, didn't you?
Yeah. You're able to play it on PC, on consoles, on your phone, on your tablet, worked out pretty well, I thought.
How come you're not playing it now?
I went back to ESO.
Oh, okay.
I like my ESO.
Your SO.
My ESO. It's lots of fun. Is it lit? Trying to like find out all the games, and it's like, no, this is just becoming a pain in my.
I'm gonna find out how many consoles or systems that Skyrim was released on.
All of them.
Not yet.
Did you find it? Blades. That's what it's called. It was available on.
Oh yeah, Blades.
It doesn't say Windows. I'm pretty sure I played that on Windows. And I thought it came out on console as well. It didn't say that.
So it's only come out on Skyrim, PC, PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, Xbox One, Switch. Thought it came out on more. I'm assuming the Madame one doesn't count.
You can still play it. They called it that.
What?
They called it Elder Scrolls.
Well, they called it Skyrim actually.
Well,
That's
that's
legit.
Well, I mean, they called it Skyrim. Yes, I meant yeah. But actually, this I know that came out on the Xbox One.
What?
Skyrim.
Are you sure it wasn't a backwards compatible thing?
No, that was one that was the one game that wasn't backwards compatible. It was no. That was not backwards compatible. I was actually.
You seem salty.
I was because I didn't really want to buy it again. I think the first special edition or like Game of the Year or something like that came out on Xbox One, and I was like,
Okay. Special edition and Skyrim special edition. Sorry, Skyrim and Skyrim special edition are different things, apparently.
Yeah, right. Oh, you're right. Special edition is better graphics. That's why.
The definitive edition.
That's why I have to say.
How many Xbox Ones do you have? 2?
One.
Oh, you only have one now?
Yes.
What happened to the other one?
Gave it to a relative.
Oh. Well. You didn't need 2 anyways. You
No, I
don't
didn't
even
need
need
2.
1.
See, there's going to be an Elder Scrolls 6. They did announce it at E3 in 2018. And then they're also going to release...
Starfield.
Yes.
What's Starfield?
The space. Elder Scrolls in space.
I kind of gathered that. But it's not Elder Scrolls in space, is it?
It's Fallout in space.
I'd rather Elder Scrolls in space. Is it going to be 100% sci-fi, or are they going to have like science fiction stuff mixed in with it?
They have released lots of nothing.
Because I think it'd be kind of cool to have like a magic system mixed in with sci-fi.
So there was talk, I remember way back when, that it could be linked to an entire hierarchy of games, that the storyline of the Bethesda games, the timeline of Bethesda games are this: Fallout, Starfield, Elder Scrolls.
Like they're in the same universe?
There is the talk of that, and that they all have a timeline. That Fallout happened first, then Starfield happens, and then Elder Scrolls happens. And there is, with the Elder Scrolls, there is hints of technology, because there's also a lot of stuff that links. There's things in little things throughout throughout all of them. So that's why the kind of the same universe, and there's some minor stories that kind of tie some of this together. And also, so people kind of moved away from the technology into the magic, like not needing the technology, or they came and they didn't want the technology, or they forgot about the technology, especially like with the dwarves. They have their tech, but and there is tech a little bit in Elder Scrolls. Very, very little, I have to admit. But
in most stories, when there's some kind of magic involved, there's usually very little tech just because they don't need it. Like, their version of science is the people who research magic.
Yeah.
And they don't need tech because the magic can do basically all of it.
Yes. And
if they do have some tech mixed in, it's very little. Or it's it's magic augmented with tech, or vice versa.
And so
I'd more believe that either they don't need it, or they found it and don't understand it, or they just don't need it.
Well, and there's some of them that even kind of mix it together a little bit. Their Pathfinder has a massive, like, thousands upon thousands of years of like Star Wars level storyline behind it. Yeah, lore, all this. And between the origin of the races and all this other stuff, there's also a crashed spaceship in the northern part of the world. And there's a technology group that started learning how this stuff worked. And they kind of started adapting it, and generations have passed since finding this spacecraft and everything. And there's even people that have come from the planet looking for the people from the spacecraft, and like, oh, okay. And some of them stuck around, some of them left. So there was a lot of interestingness with that. And most of the world of Pathfinder is still non-technology. It's the normal magic and all that. But there's some that kind of mix the two a little bit more. I think there was also a new gunslinger that they brought into Pathfinder.
Gunslinger.
Basically, somebody who can like make guns and shoot and use technology and magic. So not just like I'm an archer, but I shoot bullets or magic missiles. I literally shoot a magic missile.
Okay. No, I understand. I've seen that, heard of that class.
And there's what else? And they did that with Avatar: Legend of Korra.
Oh yeah, they started mixing in,
and which also makes sense because that also means that if magic is a big thing in the realm, and you're not a magic user for some reason or another,
so
you are the subclass. So which means you make the technology to no longer be the subclass.
Yeah, that happened in Legend of Korra.
Yeah,
a lot.
That was a big thing in Legend of Korra.
In fact, their electricity comes from firebenders.
Yep.
Because I don't know.
Well, that's just how that's how those firebenders make money.
Well, that's how those firebenders make money, but like if you think about it, it's probably like the cleanest version of energy you could ever find.
Yeah.
Besides just like using wind or solar.
Yeah, especially for firebenders, they don't need the element to make the element.
Correct. Unless you're talking the movie. Then they do.
I know of no movie with the name Avatar in it.
You're right. Sorry, The Last Airbender.
I know of no movie with the name Avatar in it, anywhere in it.
Oh, I know of a movie with the name Avatar.
I do not.
It's not that Avatar, though.
It is not. I know of no movie with the name Avatar in it. And I don't know of any movie with 3 more movies coming out with the same name of Avatar. Or maybe even a sequel.
It's, like you said, though, like in universes where there's magic, usually the people who don't have magic are the subclass. It kind of depends. Like, there's a lot of universes that I know of. Okay. Like book universes or whatever.
Yeah.
But where people who don't have magic, like they can't cast it necessarily, but they're able to still activate stuff because everybody just innately kind of has magic. It's whether or not they can actively use it, or if they're just like pouring magic into something, because like in ReZero, that anime I've been trying to get you to watch.
Yeah.
Their whole thing, like their whole world is magic based.
Mm-hmm.
There's some tech, but it's not a lot. But they have these things where, like, they have a bath system or whatever. Like in some mansions, they have these huge baths, and they're heated with magic. And it's just like most people, and I think most everybody can just pour magic into it, whether they can cast it or not. I don't remember. It's been a while since I read that part. But yeah, like a lot of them are like that. But then there are a lot of universes where, like you said, if you don't possess the ability to cast magic at all, anything that's magic based is completely out of your realm. And so either you just deal with it. And in fact, I think in a lot of universes, that's just how it is. People just deal with it.
Well, it's the way Last Airbender series was. The Last
Airbender series, yes.
Yeah, the Last Airbender, not Legend of Korra. Legend of Korra, there was a lot that they were dealing with it, but that's also what caused the uprising, is the having, I have to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't want to be the subclass.
Yeah. So, magic is interesting inside of universes like that.
Well, there's also the other one where the war between the mages and the people, and the people beat the mages and told them that they had to stay in their world, and if they ever moved dragons around, they had to let the country know that they were moving dragons around in the country.
What's that?
Harry Potter. Yeah, when they brought in those dragons, they had to let the British Prime Minister know about it, and our British Parliament know about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so there's the idea that in Harry Potter there was a war, and the mages lost, and the wizards lost.
Do they ever say that there was a war, or is it just implied that there might have been a war?
It's heavily implied.
Because my thought was that they always just there were the witch trials, right?
Yeah.
And they were just getting persecuted so much. So you could say that's a war, but depending on how it was fought, quote unquote fought, it would be very one-sided, because it's like if it was the witch trials that were happening in just little hamlets here and there, then you wouldn't know, and the wizards wouldn't be able to fight back, really. They could, but yeah. So to me, it was always just I just assumed that because of those witch trials and whatever, they decided just to go into hiding because it was just easier for them. And the more muggles could just be ignorant. What are you finding?
I found apparently the first Wizarding War. I'm kind of confused about this one. But there's the.
Well, that one says 1981.
I know. I was like, well, not just 81. There's 70 and there's 40 in there. I'm like, wait, what? So.
Oh, would that not be? No, the first Wizarding War. I think that would be Voldemort.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about. The Voldemort was still was a sequel to
Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Yeah. But where it said 81, that would actually link up, because I think that's around the time that Harry was born.
Yeah, so it might have been.
Because the last movie, or the last book, actually takes place in 1999, which I did not know about until I read about it a year or so ago.
And so I think that may have been the wizards themselves war that they were trying to, where there is the fan idea of there, because of the stuff that they talked about. It's like the Triwizard Tournament, where they the Ministry of Magic had to get a hold of the Prime Minister of Britain to go hey, we're bringing in dragons. We need to let you know about this. This is part of the agreement. This is part of our agreement. And even with some of these wizards, there's really, really powerful wizards. But yeah, they bow down to humans.
Okay, so there's this passage in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, depending on what country you're in. In the U.S., it's Sorcerer's Stone, isn't it? I think in the UK, it's Philosopher's. That doesn't matter, but it's the first book. Whenever Hagrid and Harry are in Diagon Alley,
Yeah.
that's the right one, isn't it? Because there's another one, like the evil version.
Oh, yeah. That's a... Yeah. You're
I don't
right.
remember how to say it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think Harry asked this, but what does Ministry of Magic do? Well, their main job is to keep it from the muggles that there's still witches and wizards up and down the country. Why? Why, blimey, Harry? Everyone be wanting magic solutions to their problems. Nah, we're best left alone. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but that might just be the modern
Well, on Muggles,
take.
no. Like, there are Muggles they have to report to. So
There are, but the vast majority of them don't.
Yeah.
They don't know. And if they do happen to find out, they have their memory wiped of the
Yeah. Well, because,
situation.
people can start rioting or start whatever else. Because if you're more... look at X-Men.
I
entire idea of-
100% understand why they're in hiding and why it would be a big deal if people were to find out. But at the same time, we're basically like, if it were a thing, we wouldn't be like the humanity would be limiting themselves, because wizards as a whole, at least in the Harry Potter universe, they don't change a whole lot.
That's the other thing also is brought up, is the fact that they don't change a lot. There are not new spells created anymore. There are not new magic items created because there is a massive hold over this. So wizards should be able to just create magic spells and create magic items, but there is so much control over it from anti magites or anti mags, whatever it is, the American one, or muggles or whatever else. There's something that the regular people have over the wizards, whether it was a war that they won or something that they can control it. So the wizards make sure to keep things in check.
So further on, this does talk about witch hunts. And wizarding families beginning to live double lives using charms of concealment to protect themselves and their families. And then by the 17th century, any witch or wizard who chose to fraternize with muggles became suspect, even an outcast in his or her community. And, And then around that point, I think most people, by people I mean wizards, were probably fairly anti-muggle. And now in the later parts where the Harry Potter stories take place, it would be they're starting to grow accepting. A lot of people are, at least. They're more accepting, at least of mixed blood, at the very least.
Well, that's also something else, is that you also run into wizards are just created. Like, your parents don't have to be wizards.
Heck, if you're a wizard, like if both your parents are wizards and they're both like very, very, very heavily, like they have a lot of wizarding blood, your kid may not even have magic.
Yep. I forgot that.
That happens. Yep. It's very rare, but it does happen.
But like, look at Hermione. Her parents were not wizards.
Yeah, I don't even... was it ever told that they might have had some kind of, like, a drop of wizarding blood in them, or were they just full-on muggles?
They were full-on muggles.
And I was just wondering about, like, ancestral stuff, but it's probably just full-on muggles. So...
Well, I think it's kind of like, Star Wars magic. But Star Wars magic is also another one of those things that's like, even though you can become a Jedi or a Sith, or you can become all that, not everyone can, because you don't have enough magic.
Midichlorians.
Midichlorians. But midichlorians also are in everything in the universe, so therefore everybody has midichlorians.
So it's just kind of like are they ever defined as being like a physical thing?
It's something they can count.
Okay, but that doesn't... Are they a cell? Are they part of your cells?
I feel like it's something that's in your body that's...
Or is it just like a force?
I feel like it's a physical thing. Like the way they kind of did it in episode 1, it kind of felt more like it was a physical thing. And also what they had done in Mandalorian, it kind of felt like it was something that you can actually like extract.
Okay, so it's mana,
Yeah.
though not in the same way because, like, if you extract it, does it come back?
They haven't gone into that yet. Like I said,
No.
it was something that they led to in Mandalorian when they got a hold of Grogu.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen Mandalorian
I don't
yet.
care. I've seen the first part, but no, that's fine. I won't remember it. But so with magic, usually there's a concept of mana, and
Yeah. Oh, how much you can
how much you can expend, and then you have a limit on how much you can do it at a given time. You have to wait for it to come back, or either naturally or through some other means. But is Star Wars magic like that, or is that ever looked into?
It doesn't. With Star Wars, it really does seem more like the more you have, and I wouldn't say it comes back because that's the other thing is also like when Anakin became Vader, it seemed like he got weaker. And
Well, that could be a lot for a lot due
well,
to a lot of
he
things.
was like missing all his limbs and
Right, but I mean more.
He had physically less body.
It could be a mental thing too,
True.
like a mental block.
And but it doesn't seem like it. Like you can exert yourself all the way up to the edge, and you can get tired. But
or turn into a Sith.
no, that's just a different. That's just using the Force a different way. That's all that is.
Can you use lightning in a good way then?
You could charge battery.
Right, but does that turn you into a Sith? Or does it just matter on the intent?
Well, technically, the lightning bolt is a Sith power, but even though you're using a Sith power, doesn't mean you are a bad person.
No, but doesn't the dark side of that Force stuff change you physically?
Not always. Depends on what you do with it. Because
so it is intent based. Okay.
Yeah, there is a lot of intent because that's the
so
other
it's
stuff.
the Force, the Force is sentient, or not necessarily sentient, but
technically yes, it is. But that's from Clone Wars, and that's a different.
Not sentient isn't the right one I'm thinking of. Conscious, like it can make decisions, in a way.
I wouldn't say it can. You can.
Like,
it is what you're willing to do with it. So yes, doing lots and lots of dark side stuff can harm you, but also can save you. There are good, or there are Sith that have never killed people. There are Sith lords that have never killed people.
well, I think.
Well, at least under the old canon. I don't know if they brought them back into the new canon yet.
Oh, probably not.
Well, I don't know.
I would honestly believe Disney to make them out to be the 100% bad guys.
No, they don't. That's what Rey was, and they've even brought in with Rebels. Is it Rebels? With Rebels, they brought in that the Force is just a thing. Like there are neutral beings out there, they are super Force powerful. They just are massively, Force abilities. These are just regular beings. And it's like, are you light side or dark side? It's like, that's a stupid question. And it's just like, I just am. I just use Force. It's just a thing. It's like the air. Do you use good air or bad air?
Depends on where you're at.
Is your oxygen good or bad?
Depends on where you're at. And depends on if you're in a sealed room or not. Because it will eventually turn bad.
Your oxygen will turn bad?
Well, the air will. You didn't say oxygen. You just said air.
I did say air, then I switched to oxygen because I realized that, yes, you could technically.
The oxygen could turn bad, I think, actually. Because if it's an O2, it's fine. If it's just an O, I think you start having problems because it's missing electrons.
Okay, but you're using oxygen right now.
You don't know that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you do.
Is the oxygen you're using good or bad?
Neither.
Exactly. That's what the Force is.
Yeah, the Force as itself, yeah.
And that's why what you do with it and that doesn't mean that if you use it for darkness, if you use it for light, if you use it for neutral, the gray Jedis. That is what I think Rey is. No, I think she still went more Jedi than she did.
Ray?
More light side. I think she went more light side than actually gray.
Oh, like gray being middle?
Yeah. I mean, you get a little bit of both because the original stories was that Luke ended up looking into the dark side before the change of canon, before it changed to Disney.
Oh.
So he actually could throw lightning because he looked into it. He just he didn't like it though. He didn't like what it did to him, so he stepped away from it. But it's what do you do with it? What can you? That's why it's just is.
So the root of the matter. Getting back to what we started with.
Yeah. Which one?
No, just whether or not the Force was something that was consumed or not. It sounds like
I would say no.
What you have is what you have.
Yeah.
Unless it's taken away, then you may not have it. You can't gain it, and using it
unless you use technology to gain it.
Okay.
Unless I take yours physically from you and stuff it in.
But you can't get more from like experience or whatever.
No.
Okay. Because in most magic systems, you can. Or like as you grow or level up, quote unquote level up, you get your skills grow. But so with the Force, you can't get any of that.
But you become better at what you have.
Well, yeah, but that's just like skill. Like maybe being more proficient.
Well, was it?
Well, I don't even know if that's the case.
Avatar is like that. You are born as a earthbender. That means you can move
unless you're Legend of Korra, and then you all of a sudden become an airbender. But that's besides the point.
Well, let's stuff like that. But let's say you're born an earthbender. That means you can move an entire mountain. But you were born. But 5 years into your life, you ain't moving mountains. You have not figured out how to do that yet.
Unless you're the Avatar, who happens to get put into the Avatar state. Unless you're Korra.
You're not. That means the Avatar is doing it, not, or the Avatar.
It's still your body.
Yes, but it means you're not doing it.
Yeah, but that's just down to skill.
Yes,
which is different. And I think with the Force, it's not even down to proficiency. It's just that you just get better at doing it. It still consumes the same amount of like energy or whatever it is. I would imagine.
I can see that. You just you learn how to use it better.
Yeah. So proficient is the word I think I want, and not efficient. I don't think I ever said efficient, but it's definitely not efficient. Proficient would be the thing. But yeah, with the Legend of Korra, it kind of brought down to just different pathways in the brain.
Yeah.
Because there was that point where someone could bloodbend and they could like break the certain points in your brain to where you can't do that. You can't.
I forgot about that. You're right.
And
you end up was it blood? Was it? I thought was it bloodbending or was it?
It was bloodbending.
I thought it was something that the Avatar, where you touched, where like it was a spirit thing, like you cut the spirit off from the body.
That's how you normally do it, but I think he was able to use bloodbending to physically sever the connection.
Okay.
And normally, I think that does like kill the spirit, or that link to that spirit, because when it happened to Korra, the only way it got fixed was by having Aang actually spirited back into her.
Though I also...
Because otherwise she had no access to
I could see that though too. It would be like getting a blood clot and losing the ability to move your arm.
Mm-hmm. So that brings to light that maybe everybody has the ability. It's just like maybe it's inside their brain. It's just not like connected correctly.
Or you haven't figured out how to use that pathway.
It could be, because also in Legend of Korra they had, I think it was an episode or two where they had the first Avatar, and back then people just learned abilities by going up to a creature and like asking them and having them teach you. Like that's how he became the Avatar. He wasn't born with it.
He learned one, and then wasn't the spirit gave him the abilities? Juan learned it from the spirit.
No, well the spirits are like the big huge turtles and stuff, like those are spirits.
Oh no, I'm talking about the spirit that is connected to the Avatar. There was that white fish like thing.
I think that was as a result at the end of his life. I think he got that for being like always trying to bring balance or whatever. Like I think it was a reward.
No, that was one that was hanging out with them. We may have to go back and watch this now.
Avatar.
All right. But that's okay. But we're also talking like various magic systems. That's something else that Brandon Sanderson has brought up. So if you look into his stuff,
right,
is how
I was going to bring that up earlier.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So with Mistborn,
yeah,
after the first books,
Mm-hmm.
This is a spoiler, by the way. So if you want to read Mistborn, you're at the end of the episode anyway, so you're not missing much. But
me.
Do you care if I spoil?
No, I don't.
Okay, because it's not that big of a deal. At the end of the books, basically there's two forces of good and bad, kind of. Like, there's a concept of gods in the Mistborn world. I think there's only two, though, and there's a dark side, and then there's a light side. And the dark side, if you have metal piercing your body, it allows the dark side version to communicate with you, which is why they had those like mist wraiths, and because they were like punctured, or I can't remember the name of them, but they're the oppressors. Like, they had big spikes in their eyes and spikes everywhere else. The reason why they did that is because it let the evil, like, deity or whatever control you. Like, the more you had in you, the more he could control you. Anyways, towards the end, that died. The good side died. And then there was this random person, and he had to, like, not random person, he's a main character, but he took them in. And then after that, he realized that because they were being oppressed, it was for a bold reason, but it got sidetracked, but they were supposed to have developed like technology and stuff, and because of that, he gave them certain ideas and tried to push them forward. But at the end of the 3 books, or not at the end of the 3 books, but it's in the next set that come after, it's like 200 or 300 years later, they were supposed to develop the radio at that point, and they hadn't. And he was like, the god being was worried about, he doesn't want to just give it to them because they won't know how to do it, and so they won't build off of it.
Yeah.
Because like with us, like if someone was to just come down and give us this piece of technology, and yeah, we could learn how to build off of it. Like me and you, we know a lot of like technology based stuff, but we don't necessarily understand the fundamentals.
Yeah.
We're building off the top of stuff. And so if anything happened to the under part of it, the base part, and no one else was able to fix it, we'd be done.
Mm-hmm.
We could learn, maybe, like reverse engineer it, but anyways, you're looking at Rava from the Avatar.
Yes. No, you were explaining though.
Oh, that was it. It's just
okay.
that they had they were getting into developing technology in the Mistborn series. But because they were relying so much on, because they still had their magic, like people could still use metals and to either get powers from them or store powers, which is what I don't remember what they are, but there's a group of people who can store like weight or health or whatever. And because they had all those access to that ability still, they didn't really need technology too much. And so they were very slowly developing it. But that was it.
Oh. Okay.
So, yeah, he befriended spirits.
So, yes, he did befriend spirits. He did end up learning...
what was his name? Juan?
Juan.
Yeah, Juan.
Yeah.
W-A-N.
Yep.
So there's befriending the spirits, and then there's a thing for meeting Rava and then becoming the Avatar.
Okay. So, because he ended up helping... Rava was was the white spirit... had been in a battle with her counterpart, the dark spirit, Fatu, and he ended up releasing them and released Fatu. He was really sad. He wanted to help out, and he kept being annoying, and
So we were both wrong.
Well...
Because it wasn't necessarily a reward.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why. Which, because his spirit is forged with Rava, he's able to reincarnate.
Yes, and also
that
with Rava's help, Ron and Rava work together, trying to become the master of the 4 elements.
So he could bend them before, just not very well, right?
He was given, that was
like he had the access to it, but
not
necessarily that. Yeah, but. Towards the end of Korra, or actually right at the end, or maybe it's the last season, I don't remember, but she loses the ability to talk to the other avatars.
Yes.
like a soft ability. Like it's soft at first, but then she like full out loses access to him because they kind of died. Because Rava got killed, and she was reborn, but it's a new Rava, and so all the spirits that were linked with her are gone.
All the previous avatars. So she is
Yeah.
the
And
first again.
Yeah, so she's the first again, and so she can't like go into the avatar state really and get help from all that. It's not clear on whether or not she could technically, like, if she could go into the spirit realm and find them, if they exist there even.
Yeah.
But it's not even clear that they even exist anymore.
Technically, the only person that they have really acknowledged that exists in the spirit realm from the human realm is Iroh. Uncle Iroh.
Well,
because he
No,
went
there-
to the spirit realm.
yeah, he did. I know that part. But the guy who was in the library, the Fire Nation guy, he was trying to find out when the eclipse and stuff was going to happen.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if that was what he's going to try to find out, but he went into that forbidden library, and at the end when it was going under, he stayed there, and he ends up getting, like, in Korra, you find him walking around in that mist that they get stuck in because he's stuck.
I
Like,
see.
He died there. And
Yeah.
I think the library got taken to the spirit realm, so. But yeah, most of the time they don't live there. The only thing that I was thinking that the Avatar might live there is because, or the older spirits are there because they're very spiritual, and so they may have resided there. But I'm thinking because Rava got consumed and they were like an integral part of her, I'm pretty sure they're just gone.
Yeah.
Like they don't.
Well, and
exist
especially
anymore.
where, the dark, or Vatu, he also created a dark avatar. So
Oh yeah,
he
he
had-
did do that.
yeah,
Who
I
was
actually
the
kind of forgot about some of that. I was like,
who was-
oh yeah,
who was the dark avatar?
the
I'm sure you could click on VOD too.
well, it's also
Or you could just click on Dark Avatar,
yeah.
and it'll tell you who it was. Him. I don't remember him.
Yeah. Unalak.
Oh, okay. The name does sound
I
familiar.
was like, as soon as I was like trying to remember how to say it, I was like, oh yeah.
yeah, I completely forgot about the Dark Avatar.
I had too, actually. I don't think is that I think Nickelodeon kind of like dropped the ball on Avatar.
No, they 100% did.
And
Like
there was some I thought was like, oh yeah. There's others like,
The first Avatar, like the first season of Korra it was televised. The last two were not. They were only available online.
Really?
Yes. And
Wow.
unless you had a cable subscription, could not watch it. The only way I was able to watch it was to either find it online in a somewhat shady way or download it in a somewhat shady way.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
I thought I watched it when it came out. I don't remember if I had cable cut by then or like if it was Hulu or I thought I watched it like normal release. But
I don't know. As far as I knew, though, like maybe it was available elsewhere, but I'm pretty sure the third season you could only watch it on Nickelodeon at first.
so do you remember Kuroshi?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a book.
Oh.
And also even like
I didn't know
Korra has lots of comics with it. So there's even more story. But
yeah, I have the comics or some of them.
so this is about Kuroshi, which she's the one with the
Kiyoshi, actually, not
Yes,
Kuroshi.
sorry, Kiyoshi. She's the one. She's the Earthbender that was with the fans, and there was all those people in.
She's also
Last
very
Airbender.
tall.
Yeah, well, yeah, but she was. This is her story, and it is very interesting, especially where she is an Earthbender, but yet she has Airbender weapons. Yes, there is some interesting.
I never thought
stuff.
about that.
I know. And also, like that island. Remember, they said that she brought that island up from the ocean. Yes, it's not just an avatar. Like before she really got the avatar stuff. So remember, I said like, oh, you're a baby. You can literally move mountains when you figure out how to do it. So what people do is they learn how to use pebbles and they pick up.
Mm-hmm.
She had the opposite problem. She could move the earth, but she couldn't pick up a pebble. It'd be like having a really, really big hand, big fingers, and you're having a problem picking up sand.
So she wasn't very dexterous.
Yeah, she couldn't move little things well, but she could move big things, with the ease.
Because she was just so powerful.
No, it like I said, it's kind of like having a big hand and trying to pick up a small grain of sand.
Oh.
It's just, it takes effort to do that. So she kind of has this big swathing movement instead of these refined, simple.
So isn't air the opposite of earth in this universe?
Well, that's what they'd done with Aang was, because that's why earth was one of the hardest ones that Aang had to learn, because air is very
fluid.
Yeah, it's even more so than fluid. Like water is fluid.
Well, I know, but I mean,
yeah.
like the movements are very fluid, very precise. Whereas earthbending, it's just like hurrah.
Well, airbending is. Well, we are over.
Yeah,
we should probably end this though. But after this, airbending is move around things. Things get in your way, and you just kind of drift around it. Earth is, I am more stubborn. That's why earthbenders are stubborn type of idea. I am so stubborn
that the earth will move around me.
Yes, that is exactly what it is.
So the reason why I brought that up is that because she has earthbending weapons. Airbending weapons. It's curious that she's using something that's 100% opposite of what she, at least her natural element, would normally be.
Yes.
It would be like having a earthbender have water bending based.
Firebender having water-based weapons.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
What would that even be?
What, Earth? Earth would be air.
No,
air
water.
would...
No. Like, what would a waterbending weapon be like?
Waterbending is... What did they have? They had... You have to look at the brother. So he had the boomerangs and the spears.
Well, I mean, the
fans,
I don't think you could use as a standard weapon.
Yeah,
she just uses that to...
You can use those as a standard weapon. They're in our non-magical culture, fans can be used as weapons.
Also, that's not... So in a lot of the light novels and animes that I've been watching / reading, there's a lot of like battle fans.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was a thing that people just mashed together. That's not. That's a real thing.
You can battle. Yeah, you can use a fan as a battle, especially if it's built up right. You can have spears on the end. You can have. Yeah, you can do those as a real weapon.
Because I've always just seen these used as like a medium to move the air.
Yeah, that's ways to do that.
Which is how I'm pretty sure she uses them.
They haven't got to that point yet. I'm not that far.
Well, I mean, when you watch, so
yes, they
in her avatar state,
actually,
in the last Airbender, when she cuts that island. She uses air. She cuts an island in half. Or not an island. A piece of the cliff.
Are you talking about Korra or are you talking about
No.
Aang?
This is Aang when it was in...
when he was Kyoshi or...
Yeah. Whenever he visits Kyoshi Island...
He cut the... wow.
He doesn't do it. He visit the
avatar
state.
state.
Yeah, he connects via the... the spirit world realm, and she shows him that part, because I think it was to help him get over a super it was a conflicting obstacle, conflicting moral wise.
Yeah,
and she just showed how cold she was and was able to just murder someone, without a second glance, really.
Yeah, I forgot.
And she 100% could not understand why he was being so empathetic.
I'm starting to see where why the book's going the way it's going now. I forgot about that.
She's cold.
Well,
not necessarily a bad way.
Well,
but
she kind of it kind of makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. It makes so much. You saying that, it suddenly I'm gonna point in the book. I'm like, wow, what? Wow, where is this going? Now I'm like, I get it. I totally get it now. I think I know where this is.
This is how you're supposed to build up a character to where they, do the bad thing instead of only taking 2 episodes to do it. Looking at you, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but that was just wow. Yeah.
Because when they go way off the deep end, as long as it's not completely out of left field, it's fine. It makes sense. With Daenerys, Would have made sense if they took more time.
Well, they kind of also like said that her bloodline was crazy.
Well, yeah, but even the past rulers didn't just go crazy. Like, they went crazy at the drop of a hat, but they were already crazy.
Yeah.
They built up to it.
Yeah, you're right. They should have built up to it.
With Daenerys, it was just like, oh, the first one, we're just going to go up to it and, have a little battle.
Yeah.
And then she goes a little bit overboard, but not quite.
Yeah.
And then the third one is just like, burn it down.
Yep.
Burn everything down. I don't care. I know you guys, like, there is, like, the general populace wanted me here. You're dead too.
Yeah.
Because you were part of the problem.
Okay, but I was also thinking the tribe that was there. They were not benders, and they used those as weapons.
Like the earthbenders?
They weren't earthbenders.
Okay, but they were part of, like, earthbender culture.
They were part of her culture.
Or was she the only earthbender?
I think she was the only earthbender there. Not the only earthbender avatar, but she was the only earthbender from that island.
Well, yeah. No, because they cycle.
I think they were just regular people all in that. Because that's the other thing is like all of the Kyoshi women or whatever they were. I don't remember what the name of their group was.
The Kyoshi Warriors.
Is it? The Kyoshi
it's
Warriors.
That simple.
I was like, is it the Kyoshi Warriors? None of them were benders. And remember what happened to the main girl? Because what's his name fell in love with her.
I don't remember her name. I know who you're talking about. It's also not Ty Lee, even though she becomes a Kyoshi warrior. There's also a lot of fan theories that she was part of Airbender lineage. She was the Firebender girl who was.
Oh,
Suki.
Do you remember having Suki?
I don't.
She's the moon. Because she fell in love with what's his name?
No.
Yeah.
She's not in the moon. That is the waterbender girl.
Yeah, you're right. Because I forgot he had a couple.
I was wondering where you're going with that.
You're right.
I'm pretty sure she's just stayed the leader. I don't think they ever married. Even though she did, like, her and
I think
Sokka had a lot.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah. We should probably wrap things up. Do you have any famous last words?
Nope.
My famous last words are audiobooks are awesome when you don't like to read.